It's 11:02. We got a good group of a lot of people on the calls from Mexico to Colorado to Florida to Maine. Jeff, they're all around us. They got us circled up, buddy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they do.
yeah, so good morning, Eric Clark here. This is our Monday morning coffee huddle. This group exists for you. It's about collaboration, it's about community, it's about increasing deal flow, it's about awareness and learning. Most people who walk away from real estate do so because lack of support, and that's not something that we want to have within our group. So I saw the email went out today that said this is strictly for those who are part of my revenue share, and I hollered at my assistants and said that is not true. So if you saw that, ignore that. That is not supposed to be in that email, and we've made that correction because this is for everybody who wants to learn about real estate, have better relationships. Whether it doesn't matter, I don't care what franchise you're with, what organization you're with, what brokerage you're with. People are welcome here because our network is really valuable to you. All right. We got a few first-time guests, so let's go around the horn and say hello. Soren, I'm going to include you because you haven't been here for a while, so you say hello. Marina, you say hello. Jackson, you've been on a couple times, but say hello again. Tim Lennon, we want to see your beautiful face, so say hello to us. And Mercedes, you were with us just last week for the first time, so you can say hello again. So go around the horn, just say where you're at, who you are, what you do.
Should I start? So I am in, right now I'm in Florida, on the west side of Florida or west coast of Florida. It's near Sarasota, and I spend my time between Florida and New Jersey. And I focus on commercial real estate, specifically triple net property. Well, all type of properties, but I've done a lot of industrial, triple net fast food development, office space, and some international residential slash hotel development that I'm getting involved with now in Colombia.
Fantastic. Thank you. I want to talk to you about industrial. Soren, you're next.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Soren. I'm a real estate agent on the residential side with EXP, but I come from 15 years of commercial development and I love commercial. So this is something I'm slowly trying to transition into business and commercial, and I'm really excited to be here and learn from the best. I'm here in Georgia, by the way.
This guy builds beautiful houses. He stays very busy. He does a great job with what he does. So, Marina, why don't you say hello to the group?
Marina Rodriguez. I'm a couple of years in with EXP, recently with the Prosperity Group. I've done real estate since 2018, mostly residential. So I'm just dipping into commercial now, trying to learn and excited. I'm in Colorado and Massachusetts. So hello to everybody.
It's very nice to have you here.
Thank
Very
you.
nice to have you here. Tim Lennon, you're a new face for me. I think we've talked maybe once before, but come on and say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Eric. Nice to see you again and everyone else. I am from Metro Atlanta and really Southeast commercial. I've been doing it a minute, so I've pretty much done a lot of things, but I'm moving into storage units here in really nationwide. Anybody interested in storage units, anybody interested in commercial in the Southeast, happy to help. I've done Chicago, done Colorado. I've been around the country for a little while and been a CCIM for a few years. So appreciate it. And thanks for letting me have it on. And hey, shout out to Michael Weissman for getting me involved. Thanks.
So Michael asked you to join today?
Michael asked, or I think I pushed him to ask me. So I nudged him and he said yes. So I'm glad he did. And Soren, you and I got to touch base because you're in Atlanta as well, you said, or Georgia. So
Tim, who's in your organization above you? Maybe just so I can get an idea of who you're connected with.
So I'm on the realty side, and like I said, I'm CCIM, so I've got all kinds of tools that I don't that I don't use much of. But my upline is Jay Kinder, Michael Reese.
Oh, okay.
You know those guys.
Very good. Fantastic.
They're all residential. They don't really have much commercial focus, so they typically send anybody that they're trying to bring into the organization to me to talk to about commercial.
Well, it's nice to meet you. You're local. You're a CCIMer, so let's have a conversation offline and continue to talk. I'll make sure my information's in here for everybody to have. Jackson, why don't you say hello again to the group? You've been here before, but say hello again so everyone gets familiar with you.
I'm Jackson. I'm in California, the northern part, working my way into Nevada. So I'll be a broker for those two states. And so just kind of getting going. I do a lot of recruiting, have some other business interests that we own in manufacturing. And slowly kind of, I've got connected with a restaurant deal that I'm going to be looking at. And then I've got a couple other commercial deals that I'm toying with right now. So I'm just kind of slowly going with this, what my ADHD allows me to deal with with this. So yeah. And then I had three other agents commercials that I was trying to get in here. So we're waiting to see if they're going to pop in here. So
Yeah, I think Jody might be joining us. She and I
yeah,
have been
Joe, to
having some
connect. Yeah,
conversations. Is she on here yet?
I don't think so.
I don't
No,
think so.
no. I've got a business broker guy. He's got a couple big deals I'm trying to get in, and then I've got a commercial girl out of Chicago, and then
Well, let's have a
but we'll
conversation.
see. Yeah,
Let's keep those conversations coming.
I'm trying.
I'm
I'm pushing.
seeing if I say this if I'm correct, pronouncing it correctly, is it Sales or Sales on the phone? I don't know who you are. Looks like your phone is pointing to the ceiling. If you're available to say hello and introduce yourself, that'd be great. Oh, we're making progress. The phone moved. Maybe not. All right. So I got a question for you. What stumps you up? What trips you up? Floor is open. Not personally, what trips you up and stumbles you in your professional efforts? Go ahead.
I'll put it out there. I'll be humble enough to do this. Coming into this, it's you don't want to take a lot of time. You're trying to figure out the best route to do this, but also, the stigma of commercials, you don't want to look ignorant or dumb, and it can be an intimidating from the outside, and just trying to figure the best way, because CoStar is a beast looking at that, and you could spend all the time in the world. So we're really finding those cliff notes, short paths to what you're kind of working on, and making sure you're doing it correctly. I think there's an ego, and for me, it's like an ego and the humbleness, trying to corral that in to so you look good, I guess. Hopefully that makes sense.
Stay there for a second. Take it
Mhm.
further.
So, you're looking at this person, and you're like, okay, am I, with the tools that you have, am I using them correctly? Am I getting them the right? Am I asking those right questions? Commercial is just a completely different animal. From a real estate standpoint, am I doing the right thing for the client? Am I looking the right thing? Am I asking the right questions? That process.
So, one of the things here, we've got people who do different parts of commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of commercial real estate. You tenant rep, people doing leasing, people do land deals, idiots like me who take people through 12, 14, 16 months of a transaction. Crazy. People sell just buildings, people who are involved in capital markets. So there's a lot of different verticals, segments, if you will, of commercial real estate. Part of asking the right question is making sure you're in the right swim lane and talking to the right people. If I want to know about office space in Atlanta and rent and tenant rep here in Atlanta, I'm going to call Jeff Smith. I'm going to talk to him. All right. I want to have a conversation about taking down a piece of property and doing it on a commercial perspective, but working with somebody in residential who builds homes, I'm going to talk to Soren. If I'm looking for C stores in the Southeast, Florida, Georgia, and I need somebody to help me find a 2.5 acre pad in Central Florida, I'm going to call Mercedes. So part of the answers come with who are you talking to?
Because
That's
that
part of
opens up
why we're here.
another great question. Is you sit there and you kind of like having access, who to reach out to, as like myself, and who are the people, the accessibility of looking like, okay, this person is this, having, because EXP is amazing to these, and there are a lot of these, but then knowing of them, and the who are in those spaces, because it's amazing. But if that tree falls and you don't hear it, if you can't find that person or know of it, then so that could be a struggle in itself.
And you can only meet him if you show up, and you can't show up to all of the things that happen on EXP because you won't do any deal flow and transaction, which is part of what the conversation we're going to have in a moment is going to go towards.
Like if you don't show up, you're not getting these names. Then you're like, okay, it starts to open up those other doors. So
That's correct.
It's beautiful.
Who else has? I really appreciate you sharing that, Jackson. Appreciate the transparency too. Who else wants to share something that trips you up that seems to be a stumbling block or a hurdle or an obstacle that you just can't seem to get over?
Hi, hello. I am now
You're not
I
in the
have a
spa
lot.
this week. Last week you were laying down and you were in the spa.
Yeah, now my the angel. I am very worried because as you know, I am Mexican. I have partnership here in EXP, but EXP Mexico doesn't work like EXP United States. Actually, I have taken a lot of like courses and like I understand that they are not like all the same, but now my concern is that perhaps I will join also perhaps the US because currently they offer me like a developer to work with them in Miami. Uh, so I am like in the middle of the decision about joint United States to use also more platforms that in Mexico they don't exist. So now that my concern, like stay like a Mexican, I'll join United States. Also, my family, like my brother, lives in United States since I don't know 25 years in Texas. So I don't want to be resident in the United States because I am happily living in Mexico. It's not the first time that someone invites me to even my brother. Every time that I saw him, he told me, "Come here." I don't know why you are continue living in Mexico, but I like Mexico. Yeah, and my husband and I we work here, so it's not my move, but also it's like now I am thinking to like joint EXP United States. EXP very they don't have all the platforms, and I have learned about the other platforms because curiously my group like Eric or like my others Juan or Tom Twang are actually in United States. I have learned that in United States they have a lot more infrastructure or platforms to use than Mexico. And yeah, I am in the middle of that decision because actually I feel a lot of limitations here.
And so the there that she has, part of her answer lies with us. And I always say this when Christina's on here with us is who she knows here in the States can help promote the products that she has. She's a great resource. If you've got, investors or buyers who are looking to buy luxury properties, she's got great opportunities for people to participate. So again, community collaboration. Here you have that opportunity, and you've got direct access to somebody who's selling five-star properties all up and down the coast on both sides of Mexico. And that's her hurdle. You could be the answer for it and participate in income with her through that opportunity.
Yeah, you are all invited, and I think that in a couple weeks I will join also EXP United States. So I am now thinking how, like the timing, the correct timing. But yes, I will ready. I specialize in condo tell, and curiously, the condo tells also works in Miami. So many people of Miami are looking me to promote their developments. So yeah, it's for the reason that I'm thinking to join United States. But anyway, if you have a person that it's interested, every Thursday I make a conference. And thank you, Eric, for this time to let my problems be in the group.
I'm smiling because I never have to ask you twice to share, and I appreciate it. So I'm very thankful that you're here, and I love the way you share. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for everyone to participate with you. I see a new face, Claudia Fuentes. Won't you say hello if you can? You got to be on the screen. You can't hide. Mercedes learned her lesson. She's not hiding today. So, Claudia, can you say hello to the group and tell us who you are and where you're at, please?
Yes, hi. Sorry, I'm in my car trying to listen. Hold on. And of course,
Just,
the Bluetooth
just
doesn't
drive and
work when.
talk. Just drive and
Sorry.
talk.
Hi.
Hey, Claudia.
Hi. Hi, my name is Claudia Fuentes, and Jackson and Steve invited me to join. I'm picking up an appraisal check actually for one of my commercial properties that I just sold. But yeah, I'm out of Houston, Texas, and yeah, I'm glad to join and really get to know more about our group. And yes, glad to be here.
Very great. It's good. It's great to have you on the call. So think about the question I put to you. What trips you up? What causes you to stumble? What's a hurdle? And candidly, I heard this when I was a young man, and I believe it's true. I am constantly looking in the mirror to say and ask myself, okay, what's working? What isn't working? What can you do better? What do you need to change? If somebody's talking in the background, please mute. Might be you, Claudia. So you need to be candid with yourself and honest with yourself. And that's also why this group is here. So a thought that I have for you today is, what are you going to do? Oh, Claudia, you need to mute.
Let me finish this up.
I can't talk over you. Claudia, did you mute?
Oh.
Yeah, I think she did.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, my client just got here. Sorry.
Right.
I have to pick up picking up a check. So
I like it yet to share a success you had last week on a transaction. Did it go to LOI? Did you get a PSA? Did you get a signature? Did you get entitlements that you needed? Somebody share with us a success that happened last week, something that was measurable. Nobody in this group had any success last week. Nobody.
I got a list.
Please.
Office space. So one thing that I'm exploring, I don't know, this is like on the topic, but a little bit off the topic. But one thing I've been exploring, well, this is new. In me being in commercial, I've always only been transactional, but I'm involved now in managing a building, an office building, and work as that entails because it's the first time. So I don't have all the one moment. Sorry about that. So I don't have the infrastructure in place, like the databases and so forth, and even the vendors involved when you're managing a property like office building. But I must say that the benefit to this, or at least going through this, is that if I want to scale, I'm sure that scaling will be more manageable. But more importantly, I've gotten a lot of opportunities. So from managing a building and the work that was involved with that, from one building in less than a year, I've gotten 2 listings, 2 sales, and like 3 leases just from one building. And the building only has about 10 units. So I just want to say that there's an avenue there. If you are involved in construction, property management, or have that experience, that's another way of, if you're coming into the commercial space. But it definitely, creates another avenue of business. If you're doing a good job, the owners tend to like you. You have the conversation with them that you do also do real estate. And so I've gotten 2 sales and, like I said, 3 listings, 2 sales and 3 listings in about a year and a half.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So and all different price ranges. So you can make money off one building if you have the strength to to decide to manage it and to put everything in place. It's pretty easy. It's not hard to manage a building, but you just have to put the infrastructure in place. So that's where the work comes in.
Thank you for sharing that, Mercedes. Jeff Smith, on that type of thought, what was your last one you had in that space of office management or office leasing? Share success. Jeff, we must have lost you. Okay. Who else had a win? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to mention the issue that I have had and continue to have for over 20 something years in the business is CRM. That's been really, and I don't know if it has to do with just my personality, but I would say that if I had that intact, I would be multimillionaire today. If I had a really good CRM in place and follow up and that operational side of And that's what I'm trying to build out coming to EXP. In bigger companies like Marcus and Millichap, they have that operational set up already, which is helpful. But I suggest that all commercial brokers and residential brokers really get a hold of your CRM. There's so much money being left on the table for people that don't have a really good one in place.
Michael, you want to jump into that conversation? Michael Wiseman?
I can. I mean, the old cliche, Erica, the best CRM is the one that you use, certainly. So I would ask, what have you used or what's available to you, right? What are you not using right now that is available to you with a CRM?
Usually I tend to just stick with the spreadsheets, and then I end up with a million different spreadsheets. And usually where I see that there's a huge disconnection is the initial contact. So if I'm doing cold calls, how do I keep those cold calls in a form where now I'm transitioning to a warm call and then to a possible solid lead, etc.
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself. The answer is a good CRM. So there's so many available, and so many are so low cost that it's a big conversation. But in the simplest terms, a CRM allows you, to tag people when you spoke to them, in what capacity they're them. It allows you to segregate them in that ways. So. I'm not sure which way Eric is. Want me to go with that. The actual CRM is much less important than the using it. You can even do it on a Google Sheet, but it gets complicated, right? It just gets a little overwhelming. How many would you say? Let's say this. How many, if you looked right now, if I said to you, Mercedes, I want you to give me a spreadsheet with everybody that you would put into a CRM, how many people are we talking about?
People that I've had contact with, or people that
people that you would put into a CRM, like you just following up on the conversation. Like if you had a CRM, and I agree with you, there's money on the table. How many contacts would actually be right now we want to put in together?
I would say about probably over
20,000 contacts. Okay, that you have those in spreadsheets.
All scattered in spreadsheets. Okay. And again, it's because I usually I do a reverse inquiry when I do cold calls.
Okay.
So, like, for example, if I have a Burger King for sale, I call other Burger King owners. So that alone produces, let's say 100, 200 contacts. And then I go through them, and then I have conversation with them, and then they stay there. And then I move on to now another type of asset. So I usually call people within the same asset class,
Okay. So let me go one drill deeper, and then Eric, this will be a much longer conversation, but that just will give you the thought process to how we think through this. 20,000 contacts. Of those 20,000, how many have you had a personal interaction with that if you were to call them back, you would say either it's been a long time since we spoke, or they may even know you by name? Of that 20,000, that could be a percentage, you tell me, or a number, a subset of?
I would say could be close to 1,000.
Okay, so about 5% would know Mercedes Martin, that, or in some, if you gave them a little tickler, they reminded.
Yeah, we had some type of dialogue back and forth.
So the other 19,000 are more or less suspects, not so much prospects. What I would call.
Yes, and actually, I probably had more conversations with more than 1,000.
Right.
But those people that just said no, I'm not interested in selling mine, but some type of.
Okay. So if you have 1,000 people that kind of know you and would remember when you call you, there's 100 deals in there. We like to get a 10% return on our database, right? But the other 19,000, it's not going to be the same substantial return, but certainly there's money in there as well. But I would say when I look at a database, and a 10% return on your contact list annually is very reasonable. It sounds like a lot, but it's there. And it might not all come to you, but it's going to somebody. There's 100 deals in there that somebody somewhere is going to see.
And even working with a group, do you have any recommendations of what CRM have you seen that works? That.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a much bigger rabbit hole, but I use Go high level, which is, which I can help you set up, but that's $100 a month, right? Of we're talking right there just to have it. So, but the important thing really is to think about how we start looking at this database and then what you would communicate with them, right? One of the first things I would have you do is essentially to the 19,000 or the 1,000, just conduct some very simple outreach campaigns. To the ones that were potential buyers, you send them like a 9-word email that says, and if you can customize it if possible, it might just say, "Hey, Eric, were you still looking for an investment property in blank area?" One question, and I want a yes or no answer. And you'll get a 10% response. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Who is this? Never heard of you. But it's the yeses you're looking for, right? And that's a database reactivation. So working forward like that, there's a lot you can start harvesting from that. And then you build your database. You start strengthening it. You come up with a weekly newsletter, which if you see mine, some of you are seeing it. If you're on my list, not Eric, but some of you do see it. Jackson, I know you see it. It's automatically generated from my activities from the week. That's my AI is pulling it, and I edit it for 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
So there's a lot of ways you can, once you have it in place, there's a lot of ways to stay in touch.
It's high level.
So,
If you're out of touch for 6 weeks, they don't know if they forget you.
so this conversation right here, Jackson, it also goes back to what you said earlier. The right questions to ask, who do you ask them to, and then what processes do you use? These things that we're discussing here can be your hurdle. They can be your obstacle. They can be, what trips you up. Christina stated what hers is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling back from new relationships and new opportunities. Why? So I can focus on the ones that are on my desk. By the way, my CRM consists of my phone and a spreadsheet because that's what I use.
Yeah.
My phone and my spreadsheet. And my spreadsheet, I have multiple tabs, and there are hundreds of people that talk on there, but everything moves forward to the primary tab where there are transactions that are taking place. Do I have a letter of intent? If it goes from letter of intent to PSA, it moves over. I've got my notes, my next steps. What has to happen? For me, a stumbling block can be, and this is a danger within EXP, I'll be candid with you. There's so many things to participate in that you may not be focused on your transaction flow. So what I'm trying to bring here with this community is that we help sharpen each other and give each other the tools so you can do more transactions. Maybe we can transact together, but collectively we're all transacting. Because without transactions, we don't grow. You got to do deals. My CRM consists of a spreadsheet, tabs on the bottom. I've got off-market tabs. I've got multifamily tabs. I've got single-family tabs, developers. I've got industrial developers. I have family office managers as a tab. And then I have my primary deal flow, which has what's transacting and where it's at in the process. LOI to PSA, to entitlements, to what's taking place. I have the property name, the property address, the email, the phone number, the entitlements it's going through, how much it's selling for per acre, what's my commission. So all of those things I can see in real time. Somebody once asked me right now, what do you have in the pipeline that's transacting? When will it close? I can show you. And I schedule, what my week looks like. I've got my week printed out and I'm going to follow it. I'm going to follow it. I got my primary and secondary thoughts. And the primary, those are the highest probability to bring money into me soon. Something's going to monetize soon. That's primary. Don't want to be chasing. I can get excited about a new introduction and a new opportunity, but do I move it forward? Here's a thought. Here's a question and a thought at the same time. A strength of mine can be relationships and opportunities, developing opportunities. I'm really good at bringing people together. But the problem can be that you may be outpacing your execution if you're not going back and bringing deals together and closing. You might be going from one to another introduction to a new opportunity, but you're not closing. That can be a hurdle. Your network's great. Your opportunities are great, but are you closing? And I get paid through a couple ways, and the way I get paid the most is through closing. So I need to be transacting. I think having some type of structured CRM. And Michael, you said it beautifully. That's why I handed it off to you, because I knew you would say the right thing as you talked. And you said it's the one you use. So your CRM is the one you use. Dear friend of most of us on this call is Tom Trung. He's got 1,400, 1,500 people in his revenue share. And guess where his CRM is? It's on his phone. It's all it is. It's just his phone. But it's what he uses. You don't have to fit into the swim lane of what everybody else is doing. You have to do what works for you and then implement it consistently. In this business, a pitfall can be going from one opportunity to the next opportunity and you're not closing deals. Sometimes the deals can be disappointing. I had 2 major deals last year where there was fraudulent activity and the deals did not close. One of the transactions, the documents were held in escrow for over 80 days. The closing documents were held in escrow for over 80 days because we were giving the buyer the benefit of the doubt. Come to find out there was fraudulent activity. It can be very disappointing. All right, we're 37 minutes in. Been a lot that's been thrown out there. Questions. I'm doing this. I'm discouraged about this. I need to do this better. Anybody?
And we talked about, like with Chris Jackson, who to call, the people on this group, how their resources in various areas depending on what you need. Is there any kind of information that can be sent out with people, if it's agreed to from here, that if you're looking for this type of deal or this type of information, contact this person? Is that something that's already out there? And since I'm new, I just don't know, or can it be done if it's not?
Couple answers to that. Michael, you're involved on the corporate level as well, so I'll let you follow up. And I want to say, Mike, I always appreciate your input. But to partly answer that question, the people who are on this call, I would encourage you to be reaching out to them, get their information, put your information, your contact information into the chat. You should have a contact card. Everybody should have a contact card. I've got a digital contact card. I've placed my digital contact card in this chat earlier. Hope you saw it. There I have a QR code where you can pick up my information, and my contact information's there. So when you go into these atmospheres that are created within EXP, you should share your digital contact card. People who are speaking, you want to connect to them and talk to them. Everybody on this call, I've got a direct contact with, except with Tim. Tim, I need your direct contact card information. I've shared mine on the screen. If you'd share back with me, that'd be fantastic. By the way, everybody can write down my mobile phone number. It's 770-878-7334. Eric Clark, 770-878-7334. Marina, I know of a data center site that I could use some help on in Colorado, by the way. We can have an offline conversation about that. So your circle of influence is through connecting here. If you connect in EXP, you will get to know people who can connect you. That's one way. A second way would be you can do searches on LinkedIn of people who are in EXP commercial, reach out to them and request an invite. I would encourage everybody to get some type of calendar process or app that works for you. So when you reach out to somebody, you can give them an opportunity to select a time to talk to you. And what I do when they select a time to talk to me, I put it into a Zoom link so we can have a one-on-one conversation. Something else I would encourage everybody to do is to have a buy box or a need box. What does that look like? Create a one-page paper. This is what I'm looking for. Tim, you've got experience in residential and commercial. Any input on this conversation we've been having?
All kinds of things. First of all, Mercedes, you probably have a CRM built in to somewhere in EXP that you can use. So I'd start with that. And then whoever your broker is regionally for you, I would reach out to them and find out what kind of other discussions they know of like this that you can participate in. Because I'd venture to say there's probably, which I'd love to see consolidated, but there's probably 5 or 10 different conversations like this going on every week. And it's just a matter of knowing where they are and how to tie into them. So get with your broker. Are you realty or are you commercial side?
A commercial.
So get with your commercial broker and ask.
Thank you.
I've, as I said earlier, I put my information in the chat. I also threw something else in the chat for everyone to take a look at. It's it's a discipline strategy that I have. I call it, it's like a gate review. I've been doing it for over 25 years. Some of you all know my past, but I did exports in over 70 countries, traveled to 34, and I implemented this gate strategy preview for programs that I ran. And I do the same thing today in real estate with investors. It's not a transactional method. It's to protect capital, and you protect the capital before you go to the next step. So I've put that out there in the chat today. You might want to download that and look at that. And here's what I have to present to you. You may be working with clients that they need to be walked through gates in their decision making. And I'd be happy to have that conversation with you, how you can implement that to help your clients, not just to do a transaction, but rather to protect capital. That's looking out for their best interest. You can read that, take a look at that. Have any questions about it? Love to talk to you about it. But that's what we're at today. I want to encourage everybody to think about, you should have a block of time every day that no one can bother you, and all you're doing in that block of time is, what do I need to do next to execute to get these transactions done? And that needs to be on your CRM. It's on my dashboard on a spreadsheet, Michael. Yeah. Any follow-up, any comments? Jackson, you started out with some questions and thoughts you had. Tell me a takeaway from this call that can help you have more confidence in the next round or your next effort.
Well, all the different questions and answers intrigue something a little bit more for your process. As I was asking those different things, even you said that path of taking somebody down versus being just transactional. And that's the case for whether you're a resident, anything, relationships, life, being a decent human. But it's getting in here helps you focus on and listen to these things. Again, it's great information. Wiseman's information is always phenomenal. What you're bringing on, everybody that brings in here. The one thing I was reading is like Claudia in Mexico, or Christine in Mexico. I sent her an email saying Claudia speaks Spanish. She's El Salvadorian, but she just brought on a girl influential out of Mexico in Texas who's Spanish and tied to Mexico, and they're in commercial. So I was going to connect them just for support in that area. They're out of Texas, so that was one of the things.
Thank you.
I'll connect you with the two of them, Bethel
Okay.
and Claudia. She was on there for a short period of time, so I'll connect you with them just for any support you need or whatever. But I think just asking the questions, it was Marina. Everybody's, I think a lot of people are just scared to ask questions, and there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and just being humble and asking the questions. No one's going to judge you, even if you know nothing. I know nothing. I assume everything that I do. I just come into it. I know nothing, and be humble and learn.
Be in the room with people who want to lift you up and move you forward. Walk away from those who pull you down or pull you back. Keep reaching out to those who are really lifting you forward and pushing you and lifting you higher. It's important to live your life that way. In closing, have this thought too, Marina. It's not about who you know, but it's who knows you. And people become to know you through these opportunities. It's been said, Bob Knuckle, somebody I've come to know over the last couple of years, and he says this. I saw him say this on LinkedIn again the other day. We're in the business of doing two things. I said this all the time before I met Bob, but he says it all the time, and everybody knows who he is. So it's got to be good if he's saying it. We're in the business of doing two things: relationships and providing really good information. Build strong relationships, and with integrity, bring to those relationships the best information you can bring. As far as in your deal flow and your transactions, make sure you're moving your deals forward. So whatever you do today, if you do one thing today, take a hard look at the transactions you're working right now. Stop everything else and look at every transaction you're working right now that's going to make money for you, and ask yourself, what am I doing today to make that better? And you don't take on a new relationship, and you don't take on a new opportunity until you can put a positive beside one of those. When you can put a positive beside something you're working right now, it moved forward. I did this. I made this happen. Then you can take on a new opportunity or make a new relationship. For me, I've been in the past too focused on a new relationship, a new opportunity. I'm going to be more focused on what's in front of me right now. Great call. It's great to see everybody's faces, sharing some coffee with us this morning from California to Mexico to Maine. Well, we got it covered. Florida. I appreciate everybody here. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, any conversation you want to have. I welcome it. Tim, look forward to meeting you. You're a neighbor. We need to get together. Maybe you and I and Jeff Smith can connect.
And Soren.
Michael, send me an image, your best mugshot, a little bio. We're going to get you on the next coffee huddle here in the next couple, 3 weeks. Okay, Michael? He's frozen. There he is. He's still frozen. All right, listen, everybody have a great day. Marina, it's a pleasure to meet you today.